about this. We have to talk about it. Okay, do you guys remember the video or like the conversation that I had a while ago where a guy or so was basically having like 6 wives or trying to get more, or basically he's trying to get a shit ton of wives or so. We have an update. Joey brought us an update or so. This was like 3 days ago that he uploaded this shit. So apparently it says it in the video thumbnail. I don't know if it's true or not, right? It could be clickbait, right? It fell apart. So I assume the whole harem relationship has fallen apart in general. So I'm kind of curious what this is about. Let's see if it actually did fell apart, his harem.
Polygamy. It's a pretty heated concept in the world of lovers and relationships and society. And weirdly enough, I am no stranger to polygamy. Not because I myself practice polygamy, I wouldn't fucking dare, I am monogamous through and through. But because I have actually met multiple polygamists in my life. There is one such polygamist that I even covered in a video of mine back in the day. In fact, it was Japan's biggest polygamist, or I guess the most infamous, most controversial polygamist. I believe I titled the video like interviewing Japan.
Wait, really? He spent a day with the dude or so? I didn't even know that actually. That's crazy. I kind of want to see that actually.
Japan's most hated family, which wasn't clickbait. At the time that these guys came out, they were one of Japan's most hated families. And if you want to check that video out, link is in the description. But I never would have imagined in 100 years that I would be making a follow-up video to this polygamist family because
a Japanese YouTuber with 3 wives saw his household collapse. His story reveals the strange history of modern reality of polygamy in Japan. Interesting.
There have been some real serious updates here with this particular article here from Gaijin Pot kind of summarizing everything. So we're going to be looking at this.
At the end of the day, having a harem does not exist. That's not true, you know? That's why it's not a thing that's supposed to be real. It's make-believe. That's why it's an anime, because it's make-believe. It's not real. It's just a fantasy. That's it, you know?
Article together that says YouTuber with 3 wives is losing everything. The history of polygamy in Japan includes emperors with concubines, shoguns with sprawling households.
I know for a fact, if I show this my brother's gonna be like, he said 3. What happens if you just have 2? I know for a fact my brother would probably say some of the dumbest things ever, you know? It'd be like, so 3 is the number. Okay, so I'll just stop at 2 then.
And enough heirs to start countless wars of succession. Emperor Meiji had 1 official empress, but fathered 15 children with 5 concubines. Goddamn, the boy had motion. Tokugawa Ienari reportedly fathered more than 50 children with numerous women. And then there's Ryuta Watanabe, a 38-year-old YouTuber behind the Ippu Tasai channel, literally one husband, many wives channel, who revived polygamy as a modern lifestyle. Revived is a strong word. I mean, he single-handedly revived it with his own volition. I wouldn't say that he like brought about a new wave of polygamists in Japan or anything like that. Watanabe filmed life under one roof with 3 wives and 11 children. He said he wanted to beat Tokugawa's numbers and father more children.
Whoa, wait a second. So these 3 wives in total? He had 11 kids in total with the 3 wives? Holy shit, dude. That's crazy, man. Damn, dude. They've been popping kids left and right, dude. I ain't gonna lie. They are trying to save the birthright or so of Japan.
So history would remember his name. The setup fell apart once money became a problem, and the household stopped feeling like Tenchimuyo and started feeling like 4 adults, 11 kids, and 1 income hanging on viewers. Shout out Gaijin Pot for that slick Tenchimuyo reference. I see you, my boy. I appreciate that one. Watanabe blamed the split on financial strain and fights with 2 partners who left with their children.
So I guess 2 must be the limit then, huh? I guess 2 is the limit, I guess.
Supporting 1 spouse in Japan in 2026 already feels impossible. Now try 3. Turns out you can't compare a Tokugawa-era household backed by land, taxes, and political power to a YouTuber household backed by cup ramen and a ring light. Holy fuck, they are going in on this guy. God damn. I know about this entire thing again because, as I mentioned at the intro of this video, I have interviewed this exact family right here. These four people right here. I went to their house in Hokkaido where they were based, and I interviewed them and tried to get to the bottom of how the hell they ended up in this particular situation. It was really interesting because as the article says right here, the husband in this particular case was like, yeah, I want to leave my name in the history books by birthing as many people as possible, being the biggest polygamist in Japanese history.
It's fucking that's a feed in it on its own, isn't it, huh? Jesus Christ.
And, you know, in this current day and age, especially in Japan with, you know, inflation on the rise, the, you know, the economy being as shitty as it's ever been, and, you know, cost of living is getting higher and higher with more families producing less and less children. It's a wonder, like, how do you support this big of a family? How does one man support 3 wives and 11 children? That's 14 people that they have to take care of. And I figured, oh, you know, you might be thinking maybe he's like a rich motherfucker, you know, maybe he's like a multi-millionaire with like land and like, you know, kind of in the same way as the Tokugawa family. No, in fact, motherfucker is unemployed, as if trying to create your own real life anime harem.
Massive day for the unemployment. Man trying to get women. He successfully did, but it's all burning down because he has nothing. He has no status, basically.
Was the most unemployed mindset you could possibly...
Wait. So my question is, okay, if you have status, right? Let's say you do have land. Let's say you are rich and everything and all that stuff. Is it possible to break the limit of having more than 2 wives? That's the question to ask, actually. I need to know about this. We need to do a science experiment on this in the future. I need a rich friend or so we can put this to the test.
Have. Imagine actually being unemployed and trying to fulfill that shit. Watanabe launched his channel in 2023. He'd filmed daily life in Hokkaido inside a self-declared polygamous household.
He probably has side chicks.
He lived with 3 partners under one roof.
Not side chicks, but I'm talking about wives. This guy has 3 wives. So my question is, can you have 3 wives if you have status? That's the question to ask.
And had 11 children. He never registered legal marriages. Yes, because in Japan, shocker, polygamy is not legal. Having multiple wives is not legal. The content came from childcare, chores, and co-living stress. Watanabe also kept calling himself a kept man, or himotoko, which essentially just means unemployed and mooching off of the wives who had to supply all of the money. He handled cooking, cleaning, and video production, but his partners earned the income. However, life quickly caught up. As childcare increased and income became less predictable, tensions grew. Japan's National Center for Child Health and Development estimates the cost of raising a firstborn to age 18 at about 21.7 million yen, which is definitely not an amount of money that people can scoff at, especially if you're living in, you know, middle to low income households, and especially if, for instance, you have 11 children and 3 wives to take.
Well, if you have 11 kids, yeah, that is quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Step 1 of polygamy, you have to be rich. You can't be a broke or the child support will make you broke. Like that one song, you know, like that one song you send me, dubstep. I know when people have higher status in Malaysia have 4 wives, so yes. Oh, really? That's actually a thing. That's interesting. Interesting. Can Elon Musk have 5 wives? Wait for the rhetorical question. Man has no game, even with the money. Like the thing that breaks this thing is money. If you can support more than 2, well, then no. Bro has a football team. He has more than a football team. He has a League of Legends team and a Call of Duty team. Okay, so damn. I'd be curious or so. My brother's probably you know that one meme or so from that what's the name of that one anime from Jujutsu Kaisen? You know, like the 2 hands together with the smiling face and everything like that, like the fucking the grin and everything. My brother would probably do that same look or so. He's like, they never said I could have 2. My fucking brother is such a dumbass or so, but I bet you he'd probably be doing something like that.
take care of, or I guess you have 3 wives to take care of yourself and the 11 children. The breaking point came after he floated the idea of expanding the family further by recruiting new partners overseas. The word recruit.
Whoa, wait. The breaking point came after he floated the idea of expanding the family further by recruiting new partners overseas? Motherfucker is trying to invade the rest of the fucking planet, dude. Oh my, he's trying to marry someone from the US, probably marry someone from the Philippines, trying to marry someone from Thailand, probably get another wife from Russia, maybe from Europe, you know. Shit, man, dude. Man is trying to spread across the continent itself, dude.
Is so gross, framing it as a way to grow both the household and the channel. I picture his partners quickly glancing around the room, mentally counting children, expenses, and available chairs, and realizing the math was about to get worse. By late 2025, 2 partners had left and returned to their families with their children. Watanabe later posted that the household had collapsed. He also said he had about 110,000 yen left and lived out of a car with the one remaining partner. Which, girl, blink twice if you need help. I love God, who wrote this Gaijin Pod article, bro? Who wrote it? Aaron, you're a funny motherfucker, bro. I appreciate the little humor and the unrelenting bashing that you are doing to this guy. So yeah, not a shocking turn of events whatsoever. Guy with 3 wives was like, hey bro, I want to go overseas to get some more fucking international bitches.
We're supposed to invade Japan, not the other way around. And the wives like,
not on our watch, motherfucker. I'm taking the kids with me. You can't take care of these kids anyway with your broke, unemployed ass. And so now he is left with one remaining partner, which I am shocked that he managed to strike a 33% success rate even after this decision. Like,
that's crazy.
I completely understand and sympathize with the other 2 partners who decided to leave with the children. Good on you. You know, take care of your children. Fuck this guy, this unemployed guy. And this other, like, this final, like, 3rd wife who decided to stick around. What are you doing, bro? How desperate can you be? How good can the sex be? So yeah, now he's left without a home, living out of a car with...
Dude, I know for a fact. Like, I know my brother jokes around and everything like that, but I feel like he wants to have I feel like he does want to have at least, you know that, but I feel like he's just joking around though. He's not very serious about it though. But I just feel like I don't know. I can't really think. I don't know what he's actually thinking or so. But like I just feel like I just have that sensation or something like, you sure you only want one?
It's about $1,000 to his name. Awesome turn of events. Modern polygamy in Japan rarely resembles historical precedent. It usually makes headlines because it's weird to Japanese people too. So don't come out of this with a wacky Japan take. Yeah, as I mentioned, you know, polygamy was outlawed in Japan many years ago. I mean, I kind of skipped over it in this article here, but you know, the Civil Code introduced in 1898, it formalized marriage as a single legally recognized union tied to inheritance. So, you know, Japan also understood after the Meiji Restoration that polygamy was a little bit outdated.
My man can probably support an entire district.
A little bit weird for the average layman, and decided to outlaw it over 100 years ago. So naturally, when you have a polygamist family in the modern day, which is again very much illegal, yeah, you're bound to get some fucking weird looks, for example. And it's shocker because apparently Duta, this guy right here that we're talking about in this article, is not the only known polygamous family. In 2024, Takashi Fujita, a businessman in Takamatsu, described himself as living with multiple wives. Because Japanese law only allows one legal marriage, he married one partner after multiple divorces caused by his infidelity, while using Japan's adult adoption system to place additional partners into his household registry. He literally adopted his wives, bro. Is that not the weirdest?
You can adopt wives? What the fuck? I didn't even know that was a thing, man. Don't tell this to my older brother, because he's gonna get some crazy fucking ideas. That's all I gotta say.
Fucking thing you've ever heard. He argued that the idea of staying with one person for life is basically a Christian concept. He also insisted that his wives could not have other partners because women get serious, while casting himself as their protector and benefactor and claiming he would set aside 100 million yen for each partner if they stayed. Oh, and look at that.
Oh, okay. He also insists to advise partners because women get serious, while casting himself as their protector and benefactor, and claiming he would set aside 100 million for each partner if they stayed. So they're also getting money out of it at the end of the day. So the guy is pretty much rich at the end of the day. So I'm like, there's no, like, when there's money on the table or so, usually humans have a breaking point when it comes to like the money wise. So, well, what do you expect, you know? People will do anything for money.
Thank you, Gaijin Pot, for the shout out. I appreciate you because I was the only person who was documenting this shit. So bam, there you go. Recognition from Gaijin Pot. I appreciate you. In early 2026, Japanese police arrested people connected to a man promoting a polygamy-style household after allegations surfaced that women were persuaded to hand over large amounts of money as part of their relationship. Basically, it's like a cult. And unfortunately, there are a lot of these quote-unquote polygamists who are using this whole polygamy route to do these kinds of horrible scams. Investigators found documents on his computer analyzing his partner's personality and upbringing like real supervillain type brainwashing, which, shocker, I also made a video on recently, which you can click up there or the link is in the description below. Japan has seen this kind of manipulation before. The most infamous example is Om Shinrikyo, who maintained sexual relationships with multiple female followers, often framed as spiritual training or religious duty. Now, you know,
spiritual training or religious duty. Really? spiritual training and religious duty, maintaining sexual relationships with these multiple female followers. That's fucking
to give Watanabe Ryuta some credit here, he was not that kind of person. As someone who met him in his own home, face to face, and got to have a proper, nuanced discussion with him, I will say from my perspective that yes, to a lot of people looking at this from the surface, he is a terrible person. You know, the fact that he was trying to wife multiple people and, you know, try to create this fucking weird harem in his own deranged mind. Yes, he's a little bit of a weird motherfucker, but he's not Asahara Shoko. He's not some kind of cult leader or anything. He legitimately believed that he could do this. He legitimately believed he was like the Tokugawa Ienari reincarnate and was like, yeah, I can one-up a fucking shogun from the Edo period in terms of the number of wives and children produced by a single man. So don't get it twisted in thinking that all polygamous families in Japan are like these deranged like cult leaders who are trying to manipulate women in the most terrible and, you know, scammy ways, because that is certainly not the case. You know, there are some people who genuinely are just interested in the polygamous lifestyle, and yes, although it may be illegal, if it is consensual, like it was in the case with this particular family here, because again, I talked to these 3 wives as well, and they were definitely aware of the situation of that they were going into a polygamous relationship, and they were completely okay with it for years. And the fact that even after this breakup, he allowed the 2 wives to leave with their children in a hopefully not too messy way, or at least it didn't devolve into any kind of like legal pursuit or anything like that, means that, you know, at the end of it all, he was just an ambitious man who just kind of fucked up and
unemployment man, too ambitious, trying to get a fucking harem, to be honest. I'm like, okay, so I guess you can technically have a harem if you're rich. That's the only way it'll work, you know. But if you're a broke boy, basically, trying to get a harem, not likely possible, because at the end of the day, you know, you need money to support the kids and the wife as well at the same time. So, you know, you can't just be unemployed.
Flew too close to the sun, I would say. I don't know. Am I giving the man too much credit? I'm not too sure. But either way, the situation is weird, and in a weird way, inevitable. I think everybody kind of saw like this coming. I think everybody kind of saw that, yeah, in the 2020s, it's pretty fucking difficult to pursue something that one of the most powerful men in the country 300 years ago was able to do. You know, you are not Tokugawa Ienari, bro. You are Watanabe Ryuta, an unemployed man living in Hokkaido who apparently was really good in bed. So much so that he was able to convince multiple women to birth multiple children and pay for everything. Now, as much as I appreciate the writing of this Gaijin Pot article, I will say that this final paragraph here is a little weird. They kind of go on talking about the harem anime genre, and thinking that, you know, shows like Tenchi Muyo, for instance, that were referenced earlier, was like the inspiration for these kinds of polygamists or anything like that. I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. You know, sure, there may be some people who are just obsessed with the whole idea of harem.
It's usually the guys. The guys are into the whole harem thing. It's a thing that they want, apparently,
that they want to try and replicate it in real life. But I think the average person is a little more level-headed than that and can, you know, understand reality from fiction. You know, I'm not going to say everyone is like that, but at least in the case with Watanabe Ryuta,
unless you're a degenerate, you know, probably in the parts of the degenerate part, or who are into that specific type of relationship or so, could probably get that shit to work, maybe, question mark, but I don't know. I doubt it though, but it never ends very well though.
He definitely wasn't thinking about it in that instance. But yeah, either way, that's the update to it all. I did actually watch the video that kind of set the catalyst off for this entire thing. He made a video kind of talking to his wives to bring up this idea of like, thinking to go overseas to get some more wives, and the wives were like, fuck no, you're not, and then taking the children away. You know, I saw the whole thing, and I was kind of waiting until kind of news articles came out about it before.
That's probably where the breaking point was. That is basically saying, I'm gonna go overseas and have sex with other women.
I wanted to discuss it because, you know, I didn't want to just be like flipping through the video for 30 minutes or whatever and making it boring. So first of all, shout out to Gaijin Pot for creating this article. Shout out to Aaron for creating this article to just summarize all of it in a neat and tight packaged way, and even throwing in some, you know, fucking history lessons about Japan.
I'm also surprised how somebody who is unemployed got 3 wives, to be honest. I don't know how you managed to pull that off. Like, honestly, I have no idea how you managed to pull that off. It's wild to see that. Because I thought women were a little bit pickier, so when it comes to like financial statuses, at least, you know, especially in Asian territories.
Polygamy and doing a sick Tenchi Muyo reference in 2026. I appreciate.
I'm like, if this guy, look, if this guy can get 3 fucking wives, right? If this dude can get 3 wives in general, and he is unemployed on top of that, that means anybody can get a girlfriend at this point. Like, straight up, dude, anyone can get a girlfriend. There's no excuse at this point.
You dog. But yeah, if I were to, you know, speak to Watanabe directly, as I have in the past, I would probably say, bro, I think it's time to let reality sink in a little bit. I get that you wanted to leave your name in the history books of like the biggest Giga Chads in Japan or something, or, you know, to be standing toe-to-toe with Tokugawa Ienari for birthing the most amount of children, but this is 2026. This is not the 1700s anymore. Life is different now, and even though you basically stood at the starting line of trying to become the biggest polygamous family in all of Japan,
you gotta be rich.
The way you went about it was just not it, bro. You cannot try to birth and wife that many people into your life without giving something in return. The fact that his only, I guess, reaping of the sows was to do the chores and to do stuff around the house and take care of the children and provide zero monetary incentive to the family is just a really fucking big red flag that I have no clue why the wives were okay with, to be honest. I mean, fuck, man, you really let go of some very forgiving people, and you should be blessed at the fact that you were able to get away with this for as long as you were able to. So hopefully this is a lesson to you, man, to just like pick your life back up, you know, make sure to take care of the one remaining wife that you have. Though. Get yourself a job. I know, sorry for jump scaring you with that word, but get yourself a job.
Yeah, fill out that job application, bitches.
Your life back up. You know, you're still 38 years old. You'll be all right, big dog. But anyways, that's just my thoughts and opinions about this whole update. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about anything I said down in the comments below. And again, if you haven't checked out,
if you can get a harem, you can get a girlfriend or boyfriend. We expect you not to be single. You have 24 hours to find someone. I'm gonna find your mom in a second and go plap 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 like that. Bitch, shut your bitch ass up. I don't want to hear it from you.
my interview with this particular polygamous family, then make sure to do so by clicking.
That's a very. I gotta see the interview though. I have to see the interview. There's no way, dude. I didn't even know he actually interviewed the family. I gotta see that, dude. No shot. Damn. So that's the end of the harem, huh? That is the end of the big old harem family. So that's fucking wild, dude.